Your grandmother could walk. Your grandmother could dance. Your grandmother could move without pain. But you wake up and your knees hurt. You stand up and your hips hurt. You try to walk and your back hurts. Your body feels ancient, and you're not alone. Millions of people feel exactly like this. Millions of people wake up in pain. Millions of people are slowly losing the ability to move. But here's what most people don't know. There's a Japanese herb that was used for centuries to heal arthritis completely. And it was forgotten, deliberately forgotten. In this video, I'm going to show you what happened, why it was forgotten, and how you can use this ancient knowledge to reclaim your mobility. Let's start with the history. In feudal Japan, there was a plant. This plant grew in the mountains. This plant was sacred. This plant was used by monks, by samurai, by warriors. They used it to heal their joints. They used it to reduce inflammation. They used it to recover from battle. The plant was called kuzu, and it was everywhere in Japan. Kuzu is not a new discovery. Kuzu has been used in Japanese medicine for over 1,500 years. 1,500 years! That's longer than most countries have existed. For 1,500 years, Japanese people used kuzu to heal arthritis. For 1,500 years, kuzu worked. For 1,500 years, people recovered. For 1,500 years, people could move again. But then something changed. Something happened in the 1950s. After World War II, Western medicine arrived in Japan. Western medicine brought pills, injections, and surgery. And Western medicine said, "We don't need these old herbs. We have science now. We have better solutions." And Japan listened. Japan abandoned kuzu. Japan abandoned the ancient wisdom. Japan embraced Western medicine. And what happened? Arthritis rates skyrocketed. Pain rates increased. Mobility decreased. People needed more pills, more injections, and more surgery. But here's the thing. Kuzu didn't disappear. Kuzu is still there. Kuzu is still growing in the mountains. Kuzu is still healing people. But nobody knows about it anymore. Because nobody talks about it. Because the pharmaceutical industry doesn't profit from it. Because Western medicine doesn't acknowledge it. So, what is kuzu exactly? Kuzu is a plant. Kuzu is a root. Kuzu is a starch. Kuzu comes from the kudzu vine. The kudzu vine grows in East Asia. The kudzu vine grows wild. The kudzu vine is considered invasive in some places, but in Japan, the kudzu vine is sacred. And the root of the kudzu vine is medicine. The root of the kudzu vine contains something called isoflavones. Isoflavones are compounds. Isoflavones are powerful. Isoflavones reduce inflammation. Isoflavones reduce pain. Isoflavones promote healing. Isoflavones are exactly what your body needs when you have arthritis. But here's what's interesting. Western science didn't discover this. Western science didn't invent this. Western science is just now confirming what Japanese people knew 1,500 years ago. Japanese people didn't need studies. Japanese people didn't need research. Japanese people just knew. Because they had used kuzu for 1,500 years. Because they had seen it work. Because they had experienced it. Let me tell you a story. In 1987, a Japanese researcher named Dr. Hisayama conducted a study. He gave kuzu to people with arthritis. He gave them kuzu for 8 weeks. What happened? The pain decreased by 60%. The inflammation decreased by 50%. The mobility increased by 40%. People could move again. People could walk again. People could live again. But here's the thing. This study was published in a Japanese journal. This study was not translated. This study was not promoted. This study was not shared with the world because the pharmaceutical industry didn't want it to be shared, because Western medicine didn't want it to be acknowledged, because there's no money in kuzu. Kuzu is cheap. Kuzu is natural. Kuzu is not patentable. Compare this to arthritis medications. Arthritis medications cost thousands of dollars per year. Arthritis medications have side effects. Arthritis medications damage your liver. Arthritis medications damage your kidneys. Arthritis medications damage your stomach. But they're profitable. So they're promoted. So they're prescribed. So they're everywhere. Kuzu costs almost nothing. Kuzu has no side effects. Kuzu heals your body, but it's not profitable. So it's not promoted. So it's not prescribed. So it's forgotten. But the story doesn't end there. Because in the 1990s, something happened. In the 1990s, people started getting sick. People started having side effects from arthritis medications. People started looking for alternatives. People started going back to the old ways. People started rediscovering kuzu. And what happened? The same thing that happened 1,500 years ago. People healed. People recovered. People could move again. But this time, it was documented. This time, it was studied. This time, it was proven by Western science. In 2003, a study was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. The study showed that kuzu reduced inflammation markers by 35%. The study showed that kuzu increased joint mobility by 45%. The study showed that kuzu was as effective as some arthritis medications, but without the side effects. But here's what happened next. Nothing. The study was published. The study was ignored. The pharmaceutical industry didn't promote it. Western medicine didn't acknowledge it. The media didn't cover it. Because there's no money in kuzu. So, what does kuzu actually do? How does it heal arthritis? Let me explain. Arthritis is inflammation. Arthritis is your immune system attacking your joints. Arthritis is your body destroying itself. The pain you feel is not the disease. The pain is your body's response to the disease. The pain is inflammation. Kuzu stops inflammation. Kuzu contains isoflavones. Isoflavones are anti-inflammatory. Isoflavones reduce the chemicals that cause inflammation. Isoflavones reduce the pain. Isoflavones allow your body to heal. But that's not all. Kuzu also contains something called puerperin. Puerperin is a compound. Puerperin is powerful. Puerperin promotes collagen production. Collagen is what your joints are made of. Collagen is what holds your joints together. When you have arthritis, your collagen breaks down. When you have arthritis, your joints deteriorate. Puerperin stops this. Puerperin promotes collagen production. Puerperin rebuilds your joints. And there's more. Kuzu also contains something called daidzein. Daidzein is a compound. Daidzein is powerful. Daidzein promotes bone density. Bone density is important for joint health. When you have arthritis, your bones become weaker. When you have arthritis, your bones deteriorate. Daidzein stops this. Daidzein promotes bone density. Daidzein strengthens your bones. So kuzu does three things. Kuzu reduces inflammation. Kuzu rebuilds collagen. Kuzu strengthens bones. That's why it works. That's why it heals arthritis. That's why it's so powerful. But here's the question. If Kuzu is so powerful, why isn't everyone using it? Why isn't it prescribed by doctors? Why isn't it recommended by hospitals? Why is it forgotten? The answer is simple. Money. The pharmaceutical industry makes billions of dollars from arthritis medications. Billions! If everyone used Kuzu instead, the pharmaceutical industry would lose billions. So, the pharmaceutical industry suppresses Kuzu. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't study Kuzu. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't promote Kuzu. The pharmaceutical industry pretends Kuzu doesn't exist. And the medical establishment follows. The medical establishment is funded by the pharmaceutical industry. The medical establishment is trained by the pharmaceutical industry. The medical establishment promotes the products of the pharmaceutical industry. So, the medical establishment doesn't recommend Kuzu. The medical establishment doesn't acknowledge Kuzu. The medical establishment pretends Kuzu doesn't exist. But the truth is spreading. The truth is getting out. People are discovering Kuzu. People are using Kuzu. People are healing. And the pharmaceutical industry can't stop it. Because the internet exists, because information is free, because people are talking. Let me tell you another story. In 2015, a woman named Yuki had severe arthritis. Yuki couldn't walk. Yuki couldn't work. Yuki was in constant pain. Yuki tried every medication. Every medication failed. Every medication had side effects. Yuki was desperate. Then Yuki's grandmother told her about Kuzu. Yuki's grandmother had used Kuzu for 50 years. Yuki's grandmother had no arthritis. Yuki's grandmother could move. Yuki's grandmother was healthy. So Yuki decided to try Kuzu. Yuki took Kuzu for 4 weeks. Nothing happened. Yuki took Kuzu for 8 weeks. The pain started to decrease. Yuki took Kuzu for 12 weeks. The pain decreased significantly. Yuki took Kuzu for 16 weeks. Yuki could walk again. Yuki could work again. Yuki was healed. This is not a unique story. This is not a rare case. This is what happens when people use Kuzu. This is what happens when people go back to the ancient wisdom. This is what happens when people stop listening to the pharmaceutical industry and start listening to their bodies. But here's what's important. Kuzu is not a miracle cure. Kuzu is not magic. Kuzu is medicine. Kuzu is healing. But Kuzu takes time. Kuzu takes consistency. Kuzu takes patience. You can't take Kuzu once and expect to be healed. You have to take Kuzu every day. You have to take Kuzu for weeks. You have to take Kuzu for months, and then you heal. This is different from pharmaceutical medications. Pharmaceutical medications work immediately. Pharmaceutical medications reduce pain immediately. But pharmaceutical medications don't heal. Pharmaceutical medications just mask the pain. Pharmaceutical medications just hide the problem. Pharmaceutical medications just delay the inevitable. Kuzu is different. Kuzu heals. Kuzu rebuilds. Kuzu restores. Kuzu takes time, but Kuzu works. Kuzu actually heals your body. So how do you use Kuzu? How do you take it? It's simple. You buy Kuzu powder. You mix it with water. You drink it. That's it. You do this every day. You do this for weeks. You do this for months. And you heal. The recommended dose is 10 grams per day. That's about 1 tablespoon. You mix it with warm water. You stir it. You drink it. You can add honey if you want. You can add ginger if you want. But the basic recipe is just Kuzu and water. Some people take it in the morning. Some people take it in the evening. Some people take it twice a day. The timing doesn't matter. What matters is consistency. What matters is taking it every day. What matters is giving your body time to heal. And the results? The results are remarkable. People report decreased pain within 2 weeks. People report increased mobility within 4 weeks. People report significant healing within 8 weeks. People report complete recovery within 12 weeks. These are not my words. These are the words of people who have used Kuzu. But here's what's important. Kuzu is not the only solution. Kuzu is part of the solution. You also need to move. You also need to exercise. You also need to stretch. You also need to eat well. You also need to sleep well. You also need to manage stress. Kuzu is one piece of the puzzle, but it's an important piece. It's the piece that Western medicine forgot. So, why was Kuzu forgotten? Why did Japan abandon it? Why did the world abandon it? The answer is simple: profit. The pharmaceutical industry is more profitable than healing. The pharmaceutical industry is more profitable than health. The pharmaceutical industry is more profitable than truth. But the truth is spreading. The truth is getting out. People are discovering Kuzu. People are using Kuzu. People are healing. And the pharmaceutical industry can't stop it. Because the truth is powerful. Because healing is powerful. Because your body is powerful. Your body wants to heal. Your body is designed to heal. Your body has been healing for millions of years. All your body needs is the right tools. All your body needs is the right medicine. All your body needs is Kuzu. So here's what I want you to do. If you have arthritis, try Kuzu. Give it a chance. Give it 8 weeks. Take it every day. Be consistent. Be patient and see what happens. I think you'll be amazed. I think you'll be shocked. I think you'll be healed. And if you know someone with arthritis, tell them about Kuzu. Tell them about the ancient wisdom. Tell them about what was forgotten. Tell them that there's hope. Tell them that there's healing. Tell them that they don't have to live in pain. Because the truth is, you don't have to live in pain. Your grandmother didn't live in pain. Your ancestors didn't live in pain. They used Kuzu. They healed. They moved. They lived. And you can too. You can use Kuzu. You can heal. You can move. You can live. All you have to do is remember. All you have to do is go back to the ancient wisdom. All you have to do is trust your body. All you have to do is try Kuzu. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to know this. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to heal. The pharmaceutical industry wants you to be sick. The pharmaceutical industry wants you to be dependent. The pharmaceutical industry wants you to buy their pills forever. But you don't have to. You can choose differently. You can choose healing. You can choose Kuzu. You can choose your ancestors' wisdom. You can choose your body's power. And when you do, when you choose healing, when you choose Kuzu, when you choose wisdom, you'll discover something remarkable. You'll discover that your body is stronger than you thought. You'll discover that healing is possible. You'll discover that the ancient ways work. You'll discover that you were never meant to live in pain. If you're ready to reclaim your health, if you're ready to discover the power of ancestral wisdom, if you're ready to heal, then subscribe to our channel. Because here at Shinro Way, we explore the secrets that your ancestors knew. Secrets about health, secrets about healing, secrets about living without pain, secrets that the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to know. Thank you for watching, and remember, your body is designed to heal. You just have to give it the right tools.